Lincoln.
Hello, Doc. Tenants meeting? Here? In the kitchen? That's what it says. I know that's what it says, because Irving says that's what it says. Irving helps me read.
That's nice.
It is nice. I think it's nice. I guard his body, he helps me read. It's a nice arrangement. It's not historic, but Irving says it puts us in a position of mutual dependence. And that can't be bad, can it?
I think it's nice to be needed by someone. Particularly in social groups A or B.
It is when you're on the verge of stupidity. That's where I am, Irving says, on account of a long career in grievous bodily harm, on the verge of stupidity.
Irving's a little blunt.
I used to think so, but he grows on you. Not much, being a dwarf, but he has this softer side.
He's not a dwarf. Why does he imagine he needs a bodyguard?
There are some people about who think Irving's a pufter.
Which people?
Well, Irving for a start. But what I want to know is, what's this tenants meeting?
I too am in a receipt of a similar item. It transpires I seem to have ironed it. Unfortunately, it appears that print has been transferred to where print is not normally found.
But what I want to know is... There was something what I wanted to know was... Oh, yeah. This tenants meeting, who's calling it?
Well, I suppose it has to be Henry. It is his house.
He's never called one before.
Morning, Irving.
Hello, Irving.
Morning, lovelies. It's beginning, you see. Yeah. Harassment of us dwarfs. They call a meeting. Next thing you know, you're being segregated by height. You want to see naked prejudice? We just watch how they always shove the dwarfs into the lowest height category. Let the dwarfs go with the short people. Who cares? Hmm? And then the form filling starts. The documentation. The prying into your personal life. How do dwarfs make love? That kind of thing. How come everybody's so fascinated by my love life? Hmm?
But, Irving, you're not a dwarf.
She stands there, reading her underwear, telling me I'm not a dwarf. Listen, I tried being normal size. Know what happened? They said I was gay. I keep telling them, not gay, I am a dwarf. I am a dwarf.
Anyway, how can this meeting be aimed against dwarfs? We've all got identical invitations. Can't say I'm familiar with the writing.
Mine says, there...
Relax. What are you doing, stretching yourself intellectually? I don't employ you for intellect, I employ you for muscle.
I don't think I've been to a tenants meeting before. I've been to a race meeting. I went with a bird called Columba. I thought, hello, stupid name for a bird, Columba. But she was good with horses.
I'm not surprised. She looked like one, didn't she?
Oh, you've met her then?
Not exactly, no. I met your other birds. They all look like horses.
Pipes. I hope they weren't all related.
Come in.
Are you ready? I have the tenants waiting. They're in for a frisson. I'm an impressive speaker. Did you know I have the Gaelic? There's a wild poetry in my rootstock. I was chosen to lecture on valves and appendages in modern sanitary practice. Yes, I once held 14 visiting highly qualified Japanese spellbound for 53 minutes entirely without notes. And they were samurai from the Works Department, Yokohama Sewerage and Light.
This meeting Are you sure? I mean, do you think the world needs another meeting? Has even God perhaps a committee? Hey, that would explain a few things.
Who said that?
Well, unless it was you, I think it was almost certainly me.
From where did you say that?
Sorry, I'm in the wardrobe.
This wardrobe?
Yes, of course, this wardrobe. I'm making friends in here.
Oh, but dash it, laddie, do you really want to be friends with a wardrobe?
No, not with the wardrobe, no. There's a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Don't open the door!
Jacqueline! Jacqueline! No, Jacqueline! Oh, come here! Jacqueline!
The monkey.
I told you it was a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Monkeys in wardrobes, you think that's reasonable?
No, I think it's damn difficult. It's taken me half the morning to coax her in there. I've had to do things with a banana you wouldn't believe.
It's something of a conviction of mine that monkeys ought not to be in wardrobes.
Oh, she's not in the damn wardrobe. You made sure of that.
Henry. Henry? You really switch off, don't you, Henry?
It's by the door.
What's by the door?
The switch.
No, I said you switch off. You really switch off.
You needn't for me.
Needn't what?
Switch off. Not for me. You want to watch the television, you play the television.
No, I don't want the television.
Well, I should then.
Should what?
Switch off.
Henry, the tenants are waiting for me to start the meeting. There's a crew down there pining for a skipper.
You won't be unkind to them?
No. Just firm. I shall smooth the rough edges.
Jolly good.
They'll find me a tyrant for personal hygiene. I shall give no quarter for the offence of sock.
It's very good of you to give up all your other opportunities to help me out.
Not at all.
I'm sure they're beginning to like you. They were full of good cheer and hearty laughter when I told them you were famous, wherever men gathered together to compare sanitary practices.
Comparative sanitation. It's always been my dream to see being taught one day at university. I made sure I was ready in case they offered me the first professorship, the chair of comparative sanitation. But envy, they held me back. Put me in charge of a hut at the lonely end of the main stores. Made me count the drain pipes. Who told you I was famous?
You did. You said you once turned on a tap for Princess Michael.
With this very hand. Yes, they used to wheel me out for all the visiting aristocracy. And if jealousy excluded me from the conducting party, I was always there, hovering respectfully at the ready with technical advice. I could see the tap was sticking. It was a Plumley Johnson narrow-neck. They're tricky little devils. A very advanced tap for a VIP, in my opinion. But do they ever consult the technical branch? No. I could see the poor princess was struggling. Her smile tightening, a lot of well-bred straining going on beneath that glove. I bounded forward, made the required gesture with my hat. Allow me, Your Royal Highness. And that was that. Charming girl. Could not have been nicer about that wet foot. Your commoner would have kicked up the devil of a row.
It really is extraordinarily lucky my finding someone of your caliber. I tried a Mr. Fortescue, but he was inclined to dribble when excited. Irving kept him in a continual state of near saturation.
Bit of a troublemaker, yon Irving.
There's no harm in him, really.
I wonder if he really gets enough exercise. Why does he keep insisting he's a dwarf?
Oh, it could be worse. My mother had a friend, a Mrs. Hislop. She insisted she was a singer. We used to foregather occasionally around Mrs. Hislop at the piano. She wore a low-cut gown. She had quantities of skin like a pink rubber bath mat. She had large red breasts that would heave dramatically whenever she snatched for a high note. I used to watch the things throbbing through Cherry Ripe. Or a decanter through You Can Jump Hill with your coat so clean, you can jump hill in the break of day, you can jump hill.
Do you think one ought to mention ladies' thingy-bobs? I've spun many a yarn round waterboard fires with never an indiscretion I would never permit it. We'd yarn about the old days, before plastic, about the legendary waterboard heroes, about my sciatica problems. Your sciatica, Mr. Ordway. Tell us about your sciatica, they'd pester me. They were loyal lads. They'd leave off wading through filth and slime just to listen to my sciatica problem. You could see the happiness shining in their simple, homely faces. I look forward confidently to achieving the same kind of grip on this lot here.
Meeting.
You've never called to see me.
Penalties of command, madam. One has to maintain a certain aloofness.
Not with friends, surely.
What's he backing away for?
He's having a quick aloof.
I had hoped by now that we might have taken tea together. I have the highest standards in reject china. I'm often complimented upon the quality of my place settings. How masculine you look in uniform.
A shadow of its former glory, Miss Delight. Retirement, unfortunately, means I can no longer wear the badges. God, I miss those badges.
You're missing the meeting, too. That's right, keep the dwarfs waiting.
We're on our way. If you'll just wait downstairs. Oh, excuse me. Mr. Mann is making a note. We must not interfere with the creative process.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a genius.
You must meet a lot of people that give you that impression.
Yeah, I do, really.
His handwriting is not unlike the larger Mr. Twelvetrees. Strange as it may seem, I have two Mr. Twelvetrees among my clientele. I believe that they're distantly related. They're very unlike in several particulars. In order to reduce the confusion attendant upon the similarity of names, I've taken in my own mind to referring to one of them as the larger Mr. Twelvetrees.
He writes you notes.
He pays by cheque.
My old mum used to write notes to her sister in Aberconway Crescent. My old mum could spell Aberconway Crescent.
That's fascinating. That's really fascinating.
Yeah. One thing my old mum could really spell was Aberconway Crescent.
Look at him scribbling away. When does he imagine that the ills of the world are susceptible to change by the pen?
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Been accosted lately by a mugger with a biro?
I understand a person's artistic ambitions. I, too, have dreams not unsimilar. Hard as it is for a girl to make her mark in any creative capacity. It's an upstairs struggle. Will the meeting take us long? I was hoping for time to do something creative with my hair.
Don't worry, it won't keep us long.
As long, I'm afraid, as it's necessary to establish a few basic house rules. I regard my prime duty here as lawgiver. You'll find me stern but fair, and not, I hope, only a figure of fear, but friend and counsellor.
Great stuff. Yes, the meeting definitely won't be keeping us long.
The purpose of all our endeavours here must be to leave this creative force here free to pursue his noble ends.
All work and no play.
Oh.
Cherry ripe, cherry ripe, like ripe, full and fair.
How long is it since you dusted, Henry?
Tuesday, Mother.
I believe that's an untruth, Henry.
Things'll get better now Ordway's here.
Yes, I believe they might.
I knew you'd like him. Being dead really suits you, Mother.
Thank you, dear. Mrs. Hislop sends her regards.
Is she, No wonder God's never in.
To me, Henry. You will be there as observer, of course. Observer. Henry, are you with me?
I just hate it when they're cruel to monkeys.
Yes, yes. Henry, Your tenants. Some of them are noisy in the bathroom. I don't like to accuse people of such things, but definitely noisy. Body noises. I will not tolerate body noises. If people cannot keep their equipment quiet, they can damn well take it elsewhere. Have we any nose pickers? Their days are numbered. I shall make an environment fit for you to finish our masterpiece.
I think she needs a friend.
Who does?
Jacqueline the monkey.
Then don't look at me. I am by temperament ill-suited to the pampering of small primates. I'd just bung her in a shed or something. I couldn't do with delicate, small, hairy paws plucking at my waterboard waistband. I don't seek to present the cuddly image. Man of steel, more like. The lonely figure on a pinnacle shrouded in the mystery of command.
A monkey friend.
No, I tell you, I don't want a monkey friend. The very idea of Ordway reduced to barrel organ circumstances would send shockwaves through institutes of higher technical management.
A monkey friend for Jacqueline.
Oh, for Jacqueline.
I should have taken more.
Taken?
Rescued.
Ah.
They were going to replace her head with something ingenious but far less appealing. Men in white coats, with mortgages. Joggers, probably. Squash players. Evaders of death by yogurt. Hi-fi enthusiasts. Responsible parents. Chablis drinkers. We're going to unbolt and tinker with the parts of that exquisite lithe creature. Make it half a thing, half Meccano. Ultimate train set.
What sort of monkey friend, Fuller?
A companion.
Platonic, I hope. Otherwise, they would procreate flamboyantly, and that would be incompatible with my plans for the house.
Plans?
In due time, I shall restore this establishment to its former prestige. We shall entertain. A select few, a sprinkling of the arts, but drawn for the most part from the upper technical classes. Tea on the lawn. We shall occasionally dress for dinner. I shall wear the kilt. I've been pressing for recognition of my waterboard tartan, but things move slowly. A man makes enemies.
The Chinese? You're planning to include our Chinese at your meeting?
Certainly I shall include our Chinese. I'm looking forward to counting them. Odd, really, I never thought I'd enjoy counting Chinese.
Will they understand?
Being counted? Oh, I think so. Look at your history. Someone's always counting Chinese.
Will they understand what you're saying at the meeting?
Rest assured, I can make myself comprehensible in most languages. It's a managerial gift.
Chinese? You can speak Chinese?
Oh, well, not exactly Chinese, not Mandarin, but a close approximation. Ah. Oh, yes. Please. Big fella called Palava. Right now, below deck, chop chop. You come, powwow, muchy quick. The fellow seems very obtuse. I think you've been lumbered with one of the less sophisticated Orientals here. Me call meeting. Meeting, savvy meeting?
Ah, me? When? How do?
Well, I think that's planted the first seeds of communication. We'll let that germinate, shall we?
You're planning a long meeting?
Oh, lots to be done.
I'm not entirely convinced they have that length of concentration span.
Nonsense, laddie. I shall rivet their attention. Come along, then. Cigarettes out. Let's have you now.
While they were turning him upside down. Is Mr. Ordway a non-smoker? One learns to respect gentlemen free from the taint of nicotine. Mr. Mann? Are you there, Mr. Mann? This is Miss Delight saying, could you accommodate Miss Delight with a personal favour by returning as quick as you like? from wherever you've gone.
Hello, doll.
Welcome back, Henry.
You've got such nice fingernails, doll.
Thank you, Henry. I try. I really do try. I've always been painstaking in matters of appearance, personal hygiene, and refinement of speech. It's my belief that because a young lady is struggling to rise in the entertainment profession, this should no way imply any lessening of her private standards. Excuse the intrusion.
Always a pleasure. Was there something?
Oh, how remiss of me. It's Mr. Ordway.
Yeah, he's having a meeting.
Not anymore. It finished early. I thought perhaps I ought to bring you up to date with what Duncan and Irvin have been doing with Mr. Ordway.
Working together already? That's nice.
Well,
Your father was a gentleman in many ways. I wouldn't have had it otherwise. And he could be disconcerting when in a playful mood. Why do you think I don't like cats? And strawberries. I used to like strawberries.
What about children?
No, I never liked children.
Am I never to have children?
Phoebe, I will not have you dwelling morbidly. Why don't we wait and see what they come up with in a test tube? They do wonderful things in test tubes these days.
I don't want a test tube.
You don't have to keep it, dear. I feel sure it will be disposable.
Is anybody there?
There's a man in there.
They get everywhere. It's none of our business, Phoebe.
We can't just ignore it. Suppose he can't breathe.
They can always breathe. They do things you wouldn't believe, and still they can breathe.
I'm going to open it, Mother.
On your head be it. You'll open it up. He'll strike up a conversation. Heaven knows where it's all going to lead.
Oh, Mother.
It's only a mother's caution, dear. Her wish not to see you involved with the kind of person one meets casually in the boot of a car. Remember, Phoebe, it's against Mummy's advice.
I'm only rescuing him slightly. I don't anticipate claiming him for salvage.
Dark in there. Clean, though, happily. Spotless. People whose opinion I respect will tell you Ordway keeps a clean car. I even get round to Jack. Yes. I like to feel I could pass it to anyone.
What's he doing?
Showing me his Jack.
Same with my tire gauge. I've had this little chap more years than I care to remember. Made in Germany. There's a clip, you see. You could pop it straight in your pocket as if it's a pen.
Don't look, Phoebe.
Not that I ever do keep it in my pocket as if it's a pen. Look a damn fool signing my checks for the tire gauge, wouldn't I? You must be wondering what I'm doing in the wood. It's just an example, I'm afraid, of the rather heavy humour of my workforce here. Sign of affection in the rough, unlettered way. Fingers?
I thought it was going to be a long meeting.
I believe it was. I have an agenda here somewhere.
We never read stuff like that when I was a girl.